Russians, refrigerators, and aliens, oh my! Dr. Jones is packing his bags for Peru in the 4th chapter of the famed Indiana Jones franchise, and this time, he's bringing the whole family.
You two just stop.
Yeah, Marion. Let's not let the kids see Mom and Dad fight.
You're not my dad, okay?
You bet I am, and I got news for you. You're gonna go back and finish school.
Steel yourselves for adventure, drag a Coca-Cola soaked comb through your coif, and stand at least 2 miles away from the mushroom cloud because we're looking back on Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
So unnecessary.
15 years before Indy turned the dial of destiny, the unflinching archaeologist embarks on the most contentious mission of his fabled career, to recover a telepathic crystal skull before a squad of KGB agents led by Cate Blanchett's Irina Spalko can use the jeweled remains to unlock the secrets of mind-controlling knowledge. Peppered with triple crosses, death-defying acts of daring do, and ill-fated attempts at passing the torch, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull finds the saga at a technical crossroads, with much of the franchise's on-location magic replaced with CGI environments and rubber snakes.
Grab the snake!
I'm calling it that!
It's a snake, what do you want me to call it?
Hey, rope!
What?
Hey, grab the rope!
Grab the rope!
Despite signing a 5-film deal with Paramount Pictures, the well had run dry for George Lucas regarding Indy's evolution beyond 1989's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Instead of marching forward, Lucas turned back the clock for the prequel television series, The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. The first 2 seasons aired on ABC between 1992 and 1993, with 4 TV films debuting on the Family Channel from 1994 to 1996. The presentation focused on Indy at different career stages, with multiple actors including Harrison Ford portraying the character. For the series, Corey Carrier, Sean Patrick Flannery, Harrison Ford, and George Hall portrayed Dr. Jones at various stages of his life. In addition to providing context for the films and fleshing out Indy's relationship with his father, The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles includes an educational angle, marrying Indy's adventures with lessons about famous historical figures. Throughout the series, Indy travels alongside prominent figures like Leo Tolstoy, John Ford, Elliot Ness, Louis Armstrong, Norman Rockwell, Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, Pablo Picasso, and many more. In the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Indy mentions a mission with Pancho Villa to his son Mutt, played by Shia LaBeouf. This reference ties directly to the first episode of The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Pancho Villa.
Technically, I was kidnapped.
By Pancho Villa.
It was a fight against Victoriano Huerta.
How old were you?
Not your age.
Lucas proposed a controversial theme while drumming up ideas for Indy's next adventure. What if Indiana encountered aliens during his 4th outing? Spielberg's record with otherworldly visitors spoke for itself, with films like Close Encounters of the Third Kind and E.T. the Extraterrestrial as examples of his knack for crafting stories revolving around our almond-eyed neighbors. Surprisingly, Ford and Spielberg rejected the idea, thinking aliens should remain among the stars.
Even I get bored sometimes. You think I had a choice?
Still, Lucas insisted the idea was a natural fit, saying audiences trust the Indiana Jones franchise enough to present something out of the box. While researching angles for the story, Lucas discovered Joseph Stalin's infatuation with psychic warfare. Thinking this would be enough to sway his co-creators, Jeb Stewart began working on a script before Last Crusade's Jeffrey Baum took up the writing torch for 3 more passes. Unfortunately, Spielberg remained unconvinced and tabled the project, leaving Lucas to return to the Star Wars universe. After several years of working on other projects, Ford, Lucas, and Spielberg reconvened. Lucas proposed his science fiction ideas again, promising to present the aliens as interdimensional beings. Lucas suggested using superstring theory as the foundation, with the crystal skulls as an object of power for Indy to interact with. With concepts by Lucas and Jeff Nathanson, David Koepp penned the script with assistance from Lost Ark screenwriter Lawrence Kasdan.
I want to be a good archaeologist. You gotta get out of the library!
Casting for Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was a smoother process than previous films in the franchise. Spielberg's reputation at this point in his career was one of legend, with some people in the business playfully referring to him as God on and off the set. Ford enthusiastically joined the production, instituting a strict gym routine to keep his 64-year-old bones from buckling beneath the pressure. Proud to represent Jones at a more delicate age, Ford refused to dye his hair for the role, saying audiences' love for the character outweighed any chance of ageism.
Damn, I thought that was closer.
Cate Blanchett, a longtime fan of the Indiana Jones franchise, jumped at the chance to play the iniquitous villain Irina Spalko. Spielberg, hailing Blanchett as a master of disguise, welcomed the enigmatic actor with open arms. He's even gone so far as to say Blanchett Spalko is his favorite villain in the Indiana Jones series. Meanwhile, Karen Allen returns as Indy's tough-as-nails ladylove, Marion Ravenwood. Allen notoriously had a rough time filming Raiders of the Lost Ark. Still, Allen eagerly joined the cast when Spielberg explained how integral her character was to the plot. While Allen and Ford experienced their share of differences on the Raiders set, the duo forged an unbreakable bond during the Crystal Skull production. Reuniting Indy and Marion in more ways than one in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is the couple's bull-headed greaser's son, Mutt. Understanding the assignment for how to play this petulant sidekick character is Shia LaBeouf. When LaBeouf signed on for Crystal Skull, the now controversial actor was riding high off the success of movies like DJ Caruso's Hitchcockian drama Disturbia, and the first of many chapters in Michael Bay's Transformers saga. Initially, the plan was for Indy and Marion to have a 13-year-old daughter after her introduction in the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. However, Spielberg thought this angle was too similar to his work for 1997's The Lost World: Jurassic Park, in which the daughter of Jeff Goldblum's Dr. Ian Malcolm becomes involved in the prehistoric panic. After choosing to change the offspring from a daughter to a son, LaBeouf was Spielberg's first choice after enjoying his role in the 2003 adventure comedy Holes. Before Mutt began combing Coca-Cola through his coif and listening to too much Johnny Cash, Elvis, and the Stray Cats, the plan was to make him a bookish anti-Indiana Jones. However, the team made Mutt a combative, irritating character to challenge Indy's fatherly instincts. LaBeouf was over the moon to work alongside Hollywood greats like Spielberg, Ford, and Allen, throwing everything he had into researching his part. With movies like Rebel Without a Cause and The Wild Ones to inspire him, LaBeouf discovered Mutt's arc from an insufferable greaser to an adventurer with an insatiable appetite for danger. Other key players in the Crystal Skull cast include Ray Winstone as George Mac McHale, a secret agent of World War II and trusted friend of Indiana Jones, and John Hurt as Harold Ox Oxley, Mutt's surrogate father. When McHale's debts outweigh his loyalty, he betrays Indy on multiple occasions, putting jewel-encrusted brooches before bros, as it were. Winstone's idea was to present McHale as a duplicitous Judas, playing Indy like a puppet with their years of friendship as the invisible strings. Spielberg enjoyed his idea for the twist and repositioned the character's motivations and fate. As for Hurt, his inclusion was at the behest of Frank Darabont. Hurt read the script before signing on, with instructions to play the character like Ben Gunn from Byron Haskin's 1950 adventure film Treasure Island.
3 times it drops.
3 times it drops.
What is he talking about?
He means 1, 2.
Filmed in parts of the United States, including New Mexico, Connecticut, Hawaii, and California, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull used college campuses and studio backlots to capture most of the action. However, when an Emmerich-level tropical storm called Hurricane Flossie ripped through Hawaii, Spielberg sent a secondary film crew to record footage of Brazil and Argentina's Iguazu Falls. Spielberg digitally inserted the shots into a fight scene on the Universal backlot. Speaking of fight sequences, Spielberg hired Spider-Man 2 and Quantum of Solace stunt coordinator Dan Bradley to arrange the adventure's swashbuckling sword fights, frenzied fisticuffs, and ludicrous leaps of faith. Bradley used storyboards to plot the action, providing a visual roadmap for set designers and stunt performers. Initially, the plan was to use minimal CGI to complete the film. Unfortunately, the team encountered more instances where CGI would benefit the budget and delivery date for the film, resulting in 450 CGI shots throughout.
That can't be good.
Once again, world-renowned composer John Williams lent his legendary skills to the Indiana Jones franchise. A fixture for every entry in the action-adventure saga, Williams relished working alongside Spielberg and company on the archaeologist's next odyssey into the unknown, using existing themes from previous films, including music written for Indiana and Marion specifically. Williams introduces new arrangements for Mutt and Spalko in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, inspired by 1950s film noir and rockabilly motifs. Williams and his band of musicians recorded the soundtrack in 10 days, astonishing crew members with the conductor's work ethic and ability to organize an ensemble of talented musicians.
Working with Steve is a particular privilege. And we come back to the series with the original team after 28 years. When you think about it, it's a remarkable thing. And this film is a very good illustration of that kind of very unique bringing together of people and collaboration and having it work so well after so many years.
Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull made Paramount Pictures history upon its release by distributing 1,200 prints in May 2008. Spielberg, still a purist that, wanted audiences to experience the film via a projector in theaters, but Paramount had other plans. Technology in cinemas was on the verge of a sea change, with markets introducing digital formats. Moving to digital meant theaters could receive films through file transfer, no longer depending on studios to ship physical prints. The end of an era was nigh, with hotfixes, post-distribution edits, and a rise in piracy on the horizon. Despite Spielberg's efforts to keep the film pure, digital versions of Crystal Skull landed in theaters during the conversion. Critic and audience reactions to Kingdom of the Crystal Skull ranged from positive to pitchforks and torches.
Grab your torch and pitchforks! Doesn't that bother you?
Nope.
Really?
Really.
While some celebrated the sequel's continued pulpy excellence, interdimensional twist, and rollicking slapstick action, others said the movie had nuked the fridge, referencing Indy's shelter of choice against an atomic bomb near the film's start. Whether or not Crystal Skull jumped the shark is debatable. However, considering the franchise's penchant for supernatural elements, I'd argue that the aliens are a natural fit alongside wraiths, eternal grail knights, and black magic sacrifices. With a 77% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes and roughly $791 million in worldwide receipts, the numbers amount to another exciting chapter of the title character's lasting legacy.
But their treasure wasn't gold, it was knowledge. Knowledge was their treasure.
If you ask me what I thought about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in 2008, my 27-year-old self stood in line with the dissenters, decrying LaBeouf's attitudinal Mutt, the film's egregious CGI and minimal use of on-location filming. However, time heals many wounds, and revisiting the film for the sake of this script has afforded me a fresh perspective. While aspects of the CGI caused the film to lose much of the franchise's on-location authenticity, I understand that's a byproduct of the times, and not something to harp on too harshly. Crystal Skull gives us the best female lead in the series since Marion Ravenwood in Blanchette's diabolical Irina Spalko, whose desire to learn from the skulls is infectious. It offers the same thrilling radio play vibes as any of its predecessors, and keeps the age of Ford's character honest, in a medium where youth is the more attractive option for any studio. Despite arriving 19 years after Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull retains the trilogy's intrepid spirit. Williams' evolution of classic themes is thrilling, with the legendary composer cutting loose after being away from the franchise for nearly 2 decades. At its core, Crystal Skull reminds me of how fun and outlandish the Indiana Jones films can be. I could do without Mutt's Tarzan routine as much as the next hater, but I've forgiven better films for worse.
Get on, Chris!
Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is as fun as any other film in the series. Ford delivers another memorable performance as the whip-wielding knowledge seeker. Bold swings, unexpected twists, and an unquenchable thirst for adventure are a few things that make the Indiana Jones franchise special, and it's impossible to think of the Hollywood landscape without Indy pushing the boundaries of action and discovery on the silver screen. At the end of the day, Indiana Jones is a rip-roaring adventure that feels like a roller coaster. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull feels the most like a theme park ride, making it a winner. We waited decades to see Ford don the fedora. It may not be top shelf, but Domino's is still tasty.